sense of initiative and entrepreneurial acumen. Professor Khosla was honored with the prestigious Education Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2012 by Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry of India and Shiksha Ratna 2012 award by the All India Technical and Management Association for his immense contribution to the cause of quality education by establishing premier education institutions in Himachal Pradesh. Colonel Rajiv Bhargava is a Senior Associate Director at the Punjab Institute for Global Manufacturing and the Punj Lloyd Institute of Infrastructure at the Indian Business School, the two institutes set up with MIT as an associate partner. Before joining ISB, he was in the Indian Army for over 2 decades and commanded a battalion of over 1,000 troops. He is also the author of the book Perspectives on India's Defence Offset Policy. Dr. Ajay Sharma, the principal of GGDST College, Chandigarh, has been the author of many research papers, books on indirect taxation, as well as GST, which are used as study material by students of the Punjab University, Chandigarh. Ankur Malhotra is the founder and director of Trinity Chandigarh, a leading organization working in the education space for the last 20 years. He is very closely associated with the Vibrant Forum and is recognized among the leading entrepreneurs of Chandigarh. I would now like to invite all the panelists and the moderator, please, on the stage.
The acoustics were so good that, nothing like mine. So thank you, Vivek sir, for giving us all an opportunity today. And it's an interesting panel because I come from an education space and I have worked closely with institutes like Shulini, SD College, and also ISB in some form or the other in the past. And so I'd like to just open this discussion by asking Mr. P.K. Khosla, Chancellor of Shulini University, the first question. That, because I have worked with so many universities, almost 35 colleges in this region, when I came to know that Shulini has opened and, doing so well, but the thought was that how come, when other colleges are closing down, in Punjab out of 102 colleges now, when 80% are closed down and only the leading colleges are surviving, how come, what strategy did Shulini adopt that today it has become one of the leading universities in the country and globally also, if you see the recent ranking. So ऐसा आपने क्या किया सर कि जो बाकी लोग नहीं कर पाए? If you can throw some light on this.
Thank you very much. This is a very common question. I find that it matters who establishes, who is the person who is responsible for establishing the private education. And in my case, it was passion. It was not a compulsion. Here I would like to give my brief biodata also. So like anyone in education, I became the university professor, became the director, became the vice chancellor, and I was like, then I was 64. I was wondering what I will do after 64. But it was such a coincidence that we could find a building, 50,000 square foot area. My wife told me, now you are leave Shimla, come to Solon, or we are settled in Solon. So let us establish a college here. So we met the owner, they also wanted to join hands, they joined hands with me, and we got that related college. That was the starting point. Then I was 64 years old. Now I'm 84. 20 years have passed in this academic career. Outside the governments. So, with that background, we started with the college and 2009 University was awarded. And the University was awarded, they said focus. In Hindu philosophy, we also say meditate and focus. So my Guru has told me, whatever you do, you should focus. So that's why I'm doing I would say the mantra. Okay, what I have to do, I should know it why I am doing it, and I should focus on it. It's not that I had the resources. There is a divine drama, either God. Because during my educational span of a job period of 30 years, I had 4 properties which came to me through these lotteries. Because when the Panchkula was started, I was a student in Punjab University of Chandigarh doing my PhD, and the plots were available. मुझे apply कर दिया, 15 साल में निकल आया. ऐसे properties all middle line. Because money was required for university. Now I get the packet, now I realize why I was getting those properties. So purpose was not for me, it was a chance or a need, but the nature thought something else. So money was easily available, no problem. We thought my both sons were well settled, there was no problem, and we sell and go ahead with the sources we had in the establishment. According to the focus, I was clearly knowing. I got to Oxford in 1972. I was there for 3 years. When I came back, they always think, कि प्रेम कुमार जब तुम गए थे तुम क्या थे, अब तुम आ गए हो ऑक्सफोर्ड में जाकर, अब तुम क्या बन गए? क्योंकि लोग ऑक्सफोर्ड को बहुत बड़ा समझते थे, अभी भी समझते हैं. तो मुझे तो वहाँ कुछ ऐसा नहीं लगा. वही वैसे हमारे टीचर, वैसे ही हम लोग, भाई प्रोफेसर जी to tell me, there is no difference between you and me. The only difference is कि हम अच्छी इंग्लिश बोल लेते हैं, अच्छी लेते हैं, और क्या फर्क है? हिंदी पढ़ाते हैं. Not withstanding that, the main thing was कि जो प्राइवेट एजुकेशन जब सोचा तो ये पता लगा कि ऑक्सफोर्ड में तो रिसर्च होती है. Every teacher has to spend 50% of their time in research, 50% in teaching, and 30% in other activities which are going to support the teaching and subject activity. Let's say transfer knowledge, educational transfer of knowledge, how nation or the people or the business can be promoted. So with that background, when I thought of entering into privatization, that is the long story. But anyway, once the university was got it, so the challenge came. कि कैसी faculty होनी चाहिए और क्या करना. I was knowing if research is to be done, then I should have postdocs, Indian postdoc, not Indian PhDs. Noted that is the key to my success. And second thing is, a foreign examiner should evaluate the PhD thesis. That is the second part of university. Because once a foreigner looked at a PhD thesis, he becomes your client also. Your student later on go there and work, and your message spread the word over. Yeah, sure. हिमाचल में पहाड़ों में एक यूनिवर्सिटी है, वहाँ पर कोई बड़ा रिटायर्ड प्रोफेसर बैठा है और वो वहाँ अच्छी रिसर्च हो. और वो एक बेस बन गया कि 2-3 चीज़ों का पता था. मैं 2 ही मैं बातें समझता हूँ कि why we succeeded, we focused and set all research. और एक और बात, उन्हीं दिनों जब मैं हमारा रिजल्ट जो I was thinking of first word ranking of the university in the newspaper. For the first time, universities are ranked by the Times Higher Education and the QS. I started thinking ये ranking क्या होती है. I came to know there are three prime units: teaching and learning. Second is research. Third is utilization. हमारे country में क्या है? Why we even today, none of the Indian university in the time higher education among first 200 universities. Go in US, they are there, but not in 100. यार हम 140 करोड़ लोगों की पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी 1100, हमारी कोई यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं, पहले 100 में यूएस में अभी रिजल्ट आया फर्स्ट में बैठे, कोई यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं है, टॉपर 180 IIT बॉम्बे, Trinity University is there, they are at 587 and rest of the Indian private universities. That is a separate issue. पर क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि वो रिसर्च को फोकस नहीं कर रहे हैं, गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटी कर नहीं रहे, प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटियों को या तो पता नहीं है या रिसर्च एक्सपेंसिव है. As a result, Indian universities are not able to.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So focus, dedication, and your personal integrity and focus on excellence. So next question, Colonel Bhargav. You are leading an institute, ISB, which is kind of a role model for various institutes. Generally, when it comes to innovative education pathways, people think, yeah, technology hai, technology, AI hai, ye hai, wo hai, but people only think of technology. What are the other innovative pathways to education? Can you please elaborate?
Yeah, thank you very much. First and foremost, I would like to say that we exchange the term education with learning very easily, but there is a subtle difference between them. And as somebody had said, some great person had said that I will not let my education interfere with my learning. So if you see, education involves, it is formal, it is institutional, it is structural, and it is standardized and as well as controlled to a large extent. Whereas if you take learning, it is informal, ongoing, flexible, and it is coming from inside to learn. And while education directs you, the goal is career, but for learning, the goal is self-development. And I'm pleased to state right now that as we go ahead, education slowly is merging with learning. The innovative pathways that I'm talking about, you will see when I go ahead. So if I see the innovative pathways that we are talking about, out of many, I have selected 8 pathways which are making a difference. The first one is of course the most common one when we talk about, and that is technology is making a huge difference. There is virtual reality, there is augmented reality, and so many other things which are making education pleasure in the classroom. The second is personalized learning. With so many techniques being available, more and more students are able to get personalized learning rather than sitting in the classroom by itself. And that is aided by things like flipped classrooms and other such activities. And the third, very interesting, is experiential learning, where the students are able to learn hands-on. One example that I can straight away give is at Indian School of Business, we have our placement, where more than 400 odd companies come during the placement period. So what innovative thing which was done was, rather than employing the staff for being the back end, we requested universities like Chandigarh University and Chitkara University to nominate their second and third year students to come and do the work, and we also give them a certificate. It was a huge success. You will be surprised that one odd case it so happened that a student of Chitkara was picked up by one of the placement companies because he worked so hard. So this is what it is. They are learning experientially while on the job. So that is a big thing. Then, of course, the MOOC and online. See, here is where, up till now, one of the important aspects of education is that it is formalized. It is recognized. You get a BA, you get a MA, you get a BTech, whatever. While if you talk about learning, there is no grading for learning. You learn what you have to learn. But when education becomes learning, like MOOCs and online learning, where you can be sitting in your room and learning from a Stanford professor, but that is also gaining recognition. That is why I am saying that education is slowly getting into learning. Then of course there is continuous and lifelong learning. Every university today says that its alums are part of the university. Once they are done with the courses, they don't let them go. They are invited for lifelong learning, and that is a very interesting aspect. Then, of course, one important aspect is the financial angle. People don't have money to pay for their college. So what has come up is now income sharing mechanism or agreements. They call it ISA, income sharing agreement, in which rather than a student taking a loan to pay for the education, the student confirms that they will share a percentage of their learning, of their earning, not learning, of their earning later, that they say that we will give, and they are able to get the money to study. So that's something very interesting. Then, of course, data analytics has made a huge difference. Today, everything is personalized. Even universities who use this data, they come to know that which student is performing well. But more important, they come to know that which student is likely to drop out. And they take the necessary steps so that the students continue to learn. And last but not the least, which I want to bring out, is the industry academia partnerships. Today, when curriculum is developed, people reach out to the industry and ask them as to what should the student be learning, so that they can immediately, once they join the industry, they are able to be effective. And some risk taking and other such activities are there. So I think there is a huge activities going on, and it is something wonderful.
Great, sir. You have enumerated all the major pathways, flipped classrooms, augmented reality, and the last thing that you mentioned. So, Dr. Ajay Sharma, coming to you, you are leading SD College, which happens to be one of the main colleges in North India since a long time. So, what can you explain some of the key trends and innovations which are driving change, especially in higher education in India?
Number of things are already discussed. One aspect is of technology. Because of availability of technology, world has become so small. The things which are happening in other side of the world are not discussed by the students also, taught by teachers also. It has actually changed the entire teaching learning process. So maybe about 2 decades earlier, when we were using only lecture systems and blackboards to teach, technology has changed the entire pedagogy pattern. Using AI and everything are now very common in students, much more than the teachers. And experiential learning certainly is gaining momentum. With the change in the examination systems also, we are now going more on the practical aspects of training. And no doubt, as my predecessor were discussing, models of the business has also changed also. Sometime earlier, when there were non-presence of these private players, the government was focusing on a minimum tuition fee, and quality was also, because of the fee structure, limited less. Now with the opening up, parents are ready to pay for the student fee, and they want the best facility available. If it is not available within the city, within the country, they are ready to send students outside. And that has opened up a number of areas. And not only that students are not looking towards our knowledge or degrees, they are actually looking towards the skills, employability, research quotient also. So things have changed a lot. Flipped classrooms has become very common. Students are going for the dual courses also. UEC has already allowed now. Most of students are preferring to do certain things from regular board, certain things from the online board using the pattern like Coursera, Unacademy, and that has opened up global situation from them. Students of my college are pursuing the courses in London School of Economics also. They are going for the Harvard Business School also. And actually, learning pathways have changed a lot. And thankfully now our education is flexible also. Looking towards the CBCS, looking towards the way you can actually customize your own degree programs. Education has actually opened up, and which is very exciting for the students.
Great, sir. Thank you for the answer. And before I go further, how many in the audience exactly know what is a flipped classroom? Can you raise your hands? I thought so. Not many, because not many are from it. So, Karan Bhagav, can you just quickly, in just 1 minute, can you explain what is a flipped?
Yeah, surely. It's a very interesting concept. In a flipped classroom, see, normally when I'll take you to a normal level where you and me in the olden times used to attend classes. So the teacher first used to come explain the basics, and some people understood, some didn't, and then they went on for some further activities. Now what is happening in a flipped classroom, that there are some asynchronous, now that is another term I am bringing in, which is asynchronous, so where students are provided beforehand videos of talks. These videos where the basics they read in their own time, the complete basics of a subject, right? And when they come to the classroom, at that time, the teacher only talks about what are the specific aspects, like a discussion on what are the problems, how the advanced things are. So that saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of efforts. So these are the types of, one type of such, and there are many other versions of that. But flipped classroom essentially makes it easier to learn by dividing your time in the right way.
So, just to paraphrase what sir has said, flip is the word comes flip, so it means reverse. So you get the assignments first, you study the videos, tutorials first, and then you enter the classroom, and then the teaching happens. It's a reversal. So, I'll just change the order of questions to make it more interesting. So, P.K. Khosla ji, a question which was sent by the team, that what are the innovations or changes that you see from the time you were a student, a long time back, and now that you are an educator and leading an institute, so what are the innovations or changes that have happened which you observe?
I would say not much. The same classroom, same blackboard, same lecture, accepting that some videos are shown here and there, but the educational classroom teaching has not changed. I think I have been abroad also, nothing much has changed over the years. The only depends upon the teacher. He or she would like to change their way of presentation before the students. Either the notes are given beforehand, or notes are given afterhand, or some summaries are given. There are different ways, but the teacher presentations are not changed. I have seen, and it cannot change also. थोड़ा बहुत फर्क पड़ सकता है, but much has not changed. जैसे when I became a teacher first time, it was my desire that I should become a good teacher. So those days we used to have a class of 2 hours, one class and followed by practical exams. I am a student of botany, and for 2 hours, first lecture I was to study notes but the idea was that I should present myself as a good teacher before the student. It is person to person, and these things cannot be, I would say, induced. जो अच्छे हैं वो अच्छे रहेंगे टीचर, जो दूसरे हैं दूसरे रहेंगे. Changes जो हम expect करते हैं, modes have changed. Yes, I agree कि हम वीडियो फिल्म दिखा देते हैं, ये करते हैं, all those things are there. और आपको artificial intelligence आ रही है, पर टीचर तो वही है, पढ़ना तो उसी ने है, पढ़ाना भी उसी ने है. So curriculum भी cover करना है, exams, all those things, much and never it will change. Only thing is, once you decide, there will be no exams. There are institutions now coming up the word about that they say there is no exam, nothing but the sort. Whatever they do it, let them read, and they make them free after the class. Let them go to libraries or wherever they want. That type of education system has come. But I think it may not suit this country because our students or even our teacher, that they may not be that serious or I would say sincere with the system if we make drastic changes in the system.
Ajay ji, what would you say to the same question if I were to ask you the same question since the time you were a student?
I am a teacher of commerce and management. In our pedagogy, there are a lot of changes. Earlier, we used to be more on the lecture systems. Now we are on the case studies, role plays, live cases are also there, and even the assumption system is changing. So an affiliating system is difficult when we are changing, teaching. Like I have some courses in Mr. Fraser Valley also. Teachers are not more empowered, so we decide how the content to be delivered also and how to evaluate also. Number of times we give them the real problems how to solve, and they are having much more weighted than the assumption systems. And interactive way of teaching is gaining much more importance these days. Case studies are available globally. Harvard is also providing, other systems also providing, using them. So from the teaching from the books can actually give the space to the experiential learning, and more so, otherwise if you are doing it traditional where students are not interested to be in classes also. If you can't make them more interesting, you can't involve them, you can't engage them, you ultimately lose. So in at least in humanities, liberal arts, in commerce, management, these things are vastly going to change. Science in particular, because they are more on the practical basis. The teachers, because they are having a lot of marks of the practical assessment, sometimes they are more focused on the lab work and they are not innovating much in the classrooms. But even in that space, the things have changed. In terms of the virtual experimentations, things are changing. Rules are actually changing so fast. In the Ludhiana and the Bhattacharya University, I am looking at they using artificial intelligence for dissection of a cow, of a different animals, and they are so well built that like you are in a lantern playing a game. In the same pattern, you are experiencing that how a dissection can be done, and the things have changed a lot. What I personally feel in maybe last 20 years or so.
Thank you so much, sir. Colonel Bhargav, one of the relevant questions, which has an impact on all of us, employability. The role of AI in all sectors is there for everybody to be seen. And one is, how is AI going to impact the education sector? And then there is a whole narrative that AI itna aa jayega, robots itne ho jayenge, people will lose the jobs. I mean, 30%, 40% people will lose the jobs. Now you are at the cutting edge. ISB is one of the leading. So can you really throw light? Is it so bad that people are going to lose these kind of jobs? I mean, what is going to be the actual reality according to you?
Okay, so this question always comes up, that people will lose jobs. So I give an answer always, and that is, say, take USA. 200 years back, everyone in USA was a farmer, right? Everyone was a farmer. And now suppose if I were to go back in time and tell one of those farmers, I pick up a farmer and I ask him that, I tell him that, do you know that 200 years from now, only one of you will be a farmer? And his response will be, what will the others do? But now, still, it is that one farmer who is there, but there are so many associated things which have come up with that. So that it's a misnomer when you say that AI will lead to losing of jobs. Somebody wants, I have those details, I can share the exact numbers also with you. But that apart, if you ask me how is AI impacting education,
Yeah.
I will say it will do it in three ways. First, of course, is that AI will enable personalized learning. Like what I said earlier, that education will merge with learning. And AI will enable that by personalizing your learning. Every student would based on the data which has been collected earlier about the student, the teachers would be able to understand as to where the student is weak, where he is strong or she is strong, and based on that again they can make a curry which fits your taste, if I put it this way. That's a big thing, let me tell you, because 90% times in a class, most of the students are not ready to even listen. The teacher comes and tells the basics, teaches the basics, and then at the end the teacher asks any questions. There is one student who will raise the hand and say, teacher, mera to kuch samajh mein nahi aaya. Now the teacher is in a quandary. Should I start the basics all over again? And by that time the person who has known, he will just push away, right? So that is one. Second important aspect, AI will enable administrative tasks to be automated. Especially, you remember the teachers spending long hours sitting in classrooms, checking papers, putting numbers for the students, and then comparing, and then when the results were given, again there were human errors in that, and then again you went back, and so many other things. So AI will enable that one great thing, and that is let the faculty or the teacher teach rather than doing administrative work. That's a big thing. And the third the aspect that I want to bring out is that it will provide insights through data analysis. Why go far? Yesterday, the Central Board of Secondary Education has identified that 500 affiliated schools, the CBSE, they ran artificial intelligence, and they found that the marks for written were not comparative with the practical marks. They found that they analyzed data of the last 10 years, and then they found that some students had very high practical marks and were negligible in theory, and vice versa. Why did that happen? It has to be similar, and that is what was identified by AI. And yesterday, maybe before, a directive has already been given to those 500 odd CBSE schools as to how they should formulate their practicals as well as theories. So that is what I wanted to say.
Yeah, excellent answer, sir. And this AI story, this recent story that people are going to lose jobs and unemployment ho jayegi, it's something similar to, sir, what happened in the year 2000, जब .com आया था और emails और websites बनी थी, तो everybody thought कि everything is a .com, all businesses are .com. तो Warren Buffett का statement आया था कि how can normal businesses who are making trucks and buses, वो थोड़ी .com बन जाएंगे? They will still have to do what they are doing. So this is like that famous wolf story, and you have explained it really well that why this will not happen, because associated industries, associated networks will grow. So जो AI में loss हुआ है वो दूसरे में cover हो जाएगा, more or less. We have to change our skill set. That is, change is the only constant, as they say. So with this, I think we had a few other questions, but I think we'll have to wrap it up. Is it time? So, sorry panelists if I missed one or two questions, but sir, would you like to just 1 minute sum it up, just 1 minute, Koslati, just last thoughts on innovation in education, just in 1 minute, can you just sum it up?
My concern about education is that the students want to be independent. And they're least interested in the routine things, and they want innovative things to be carried out by the teacher or to be taught. The teachers, on the other hand, are sticking to the curriculum and they want to finish the coursework. The present student is entirely different. He wants to learn. His approach is multidisciplinary. ये भी पढ़ लो, वो भी पढ़ लो, and so it is a challenge. I would say it is a challenge to the teacher to change with the temperament and the requirements of the young society. Otherwise, the teaching profession will be becoming outdated or outdated.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. With these last thoughts, I think we'll wrap up this panel on innovative pathways in education. Thank you. Thank you all of you for listening to me.
Wonderful insights by all the panelists on education. Thank you, everyone. I'd now like to invite Mrs. Anju Mehta to present the mentors. I'd now like to invite Mr. Vivek up to the group photograph.